Hello guys, how are you? Let's go to English again. The Tagalog language that I purchased has ended. I'll just put a Tagalog subtitle. This is part 2 of chapter 3. My power couldn't handle it yesterday. It's dizzying to edit anime. Without further ado, let's start the story. I'll introduce myself again. I'm Storymaker_PH, your story maker. Let's start.
Sir, please wait here for a moment. Our manager will come over here right away.
After that, everyone blocked Gerald's way as if they were trying to stop a fraudster from escaping. Gerald really did not expect to cause so much trouble just because he wanted to buy a bag. However, he knew that he would not be able to leave now even if he wanted to. He could only stand here and wait patiently for the store manager. Very soon, a woman in her early 30s who was dressed very elegantly appeared in front of the crowd of people. Rachel immediately told the manager that she suspected Gerald to be a fraudster who had stolen someone else's black gold card. The manager looked at Gerald before she smiled and said,
"I am sorry, sir, but if you do not mind, would you please allow MNE to check out your black gold card?"
She was very polite and respectful because she was the manager of the store and she did not judge their customers simply by their appearances. Gerald felt very helpless at this time and he could only hand his black gold card over to the manager without saying anything. The manager brought out a special card reader. After that, she skillfully placed the card inside.
"Sir, could you please give me your last name? I would also like to know your identification number."
The female manager requested respectfully.
My name is Gerald Crawford and my sister's name is Jessica Crawford.
Even though his sister had put in his birth date as the passcode for his cards, Gerald was not sure if the card was under his name or his sister's. Gerald also handed his identification card over to the manager without any hesitation.
Let's see how he'll explain himself now.
Yuri said as he sneered. After that, he took out his cell phone so he could file a police report as soon as they found out the truth about Gerald. The female manager proceeded with her inspection. A short while later, a look of horror flashed through her eyes when she saw that Gerald was indeed the rightful owner of the black gold card. He was indeed a supreme member and this meant that he was a member of a very wealthy and powerful family in the world. The manager broke out in cold sweat immediately.
Damn it, Rachel had actually made her offer and such an important and powerful customer.
The female manager took the card in her hand before she walked over to Gerald and bowed before him in a respectful manner.
"Dear Mr. Crawford, I am so sorry if I have offended you. Please let me return your black gold card to you."
What? Everyone was stunned. Rachel was standing in Gerald's way because she was trying to prevent him from leaving and she felt extremely embarrassed at this time.
Manager. Are you sure you did not make a mistake? Is this person really the owner of this black gold card?
The female manager raised her hand and slapped Rachel across her face.
"Move aside now."
Rachel covered her face with her hand as she quickly stepped aside. Yuri and Xavier were in a daze. The female manager knew that the two of them knew Gerald and they were the ones who were trying to ridicule and embarrass him. Therefore, she thought that it would be best if she could gain Gerald's favor by chasing them both out of the Hermes store today. The manager quickly walked up to Yuri and Xavier before she said,
"Excuse me, what are both of you trying to prove? Why did you induce our sales girl to offend our most valuable customer?"
Yuri stared at the manager before he said,
I was simply giving you a warning as a kind gesture.
"We appreciate your kindness, but if you are not going to buy anything, we would truly appreciate it if you left our store immediately."
The female manager's words were very sharp and cold. She was chasing them out of the store. Xavier looked at Yuri, hoping that he would be able to get him out of this embarrassing situation. However, Yuri was also sweating profusely at this time. Even if he forked out money to buy a bag worth $10,000, he would still be nothing compared to Gerald. Gerald was a supreme customer.
Let's go.
Yuri gritted his teeth in anger as he dragged Xavier out of the store. At this time, Rachel was also bowing down in front of Gerald.
Sorry. I am so sorry, Mr. Crawford.
She regretted her actions and she really regretted judging her customers by their appearance. Gerald turned a blind eye to her and he simply smiled at Wendy before he said,
Thank you so much for all the trouble today. I don't need you to wrap the bag up for me because I'm in a hurry. Goodbye.
After that, Gerald took the bag in his hands before he left immediately. This was the first time that he had ever won in a battle with money. In fact, he was not the kind of person who would spend so extravagantly. However, Gerald was finally an ordinary person who could live his life without worrying about money. After leaving the store, Gerald's cell phone started ringing again. It was a phone call from Naomi. Gerald could hear Naomi's anxious voice over the other end of the line as soon as he answered the call.
Gerald, I don't care what other people think about you, but you're one of my closest friends. You have to come to my birthday party tonight. All of your dormitory mates are here already.
Gerald smiled before he replied.
Alright, I'll be right there.
By the way, make sure that you look good today. I'd like to introduce someone to you.
Naomi said over the phone again. Gerald could only shake his head helplessly. Since he could not possibly give Naomi the bag without wrapping it up, Gerald walked to a nearby supermarket to buy a plastic bag for 20 cents. After that, he put the Hermes bag into the red plastic bag. He then hailed a cab before he rushed to Jade Restaurant. At this time, at Jade Restaurant, Naomi hung up the phone before she smiled at the long-haired girl sitting next to her. The girl was absolutely beautiful and she looked like a goddess.
Alice, Gerald is a very close friend of mine. He's a very good and studious person. I'd like to introduce you to him later.
Alice was wearing her earphones and she was shaking her legs as she listened to music. She was really very pure and beautiful. Alice Bradford and Naomi were childhood friends who grew up together and they attended the same university even though they were majoring in different fields. Since it was Naomi's birthday today, she had invited Alice and some of her dormitory friends over to celebrate her birthday with her. At this time, Naomi also knew that even though Alice was a goddess, she had been single since high school and she was currently looking for a boyfriend. Alice opened a bottle of juice as she drank it in a graceful manner. At this time, the door opened.